You're going live with a tornado warning over the Des Moines Metro. I'm going to show you the radar here in just a moment, but this has just been issued within the past 1 minute. We do have a little bit of rotation that is popping up near Urbandale, and it looks like that is moving close towards the Merle Hay Mall. So we are going to take a look at the radar here and show you what I'm talking about. So this is where I am seeing that rotation just kind of popping up, and that is just north of the Windsor Heights area. And so when you look at the map here, this line here is going to be Merle Hay Mall and 63rd, or Merle Hay Road and 63rd Street. And then this right here would be, I believe, University Ave. And then Hickman would be up here. So that is where you have that rotation, and relative to where some major landmarks are, or major areas are in the Des Moines metro area. Merle Hay Mall would be right around this area right here. So this is actually potentially Douglas Ave, and this being Hickman. So I'm going to zoom out here and show you where this tornado warning is. And I'm going to show you how, where we've kind of seen this move in the past couple of minutes here. I am going to adjust something real quick here so that this shows just a few frames rather than the past couple of hours, which is what I kind of had it set at. And so as I press play here, you're going to see what happened here over the past 5 minutes. And I do kind of want to make this go a little bit slower. So I am going to slow it down just a tad and show you that once again. And so you'll notice that we have the reds and green colors here on the right side of your screen. And that indicates the wind motion and the wind strength. And so when I pause this here, you'll notice that the stronger winds kind of being this bright red and almost cream color here, that's the strong outbound winds. And just a moment ago, we had some pretty significant inbound winds as well. And when I say inbound, that is winds that are traveling toward the radar, which is this big kind of hole right here around Saylorville Lake. And that is the radar that is for the National Weather Service in Des Moines. And so that tornado warning had been issued up near the Merle Hay Mall area. Now the area of rotation is approaching the Interstate 235 corridor just east of Windsor Heights. And so again, this is 63rd Street. So as you are traveling toward the east, you're getting towards Polk Boulevard, the just past exit 4. So exit 4 would be right here. And then you're approaching exit 5A, 5B, exit 6 would be closer to here, which would be 31st Street. So in between 31st Street and 63rd Street in Des Moines is where we have this rotation and where that tornado warning is in effect for. So this is a storm that did actually produce the tornado. So this has been a confirmed tornado that was located near Merle Hay Mall just about 5 minutes ago. So this could also produce some large hail, but the tornado being our main threat with this. And the storm itself is moving. It is moving east at about 45 miles per hour. So if you're in the downtown Des Moines area, you're on the south side or the east side, Pleasant Hill, all the way out toward the Mitchellville area, that is why you're in this tornado warning, as we had a tornado that was spotted on the ground around Merle Hay Mall about 5 minutes ago. And that rotation kind of remains evident here on the radar, not the strongest or the widest amount of rotation, but still rotation nonetheless. New tornado warning popping up, and that is kind of aimed toward the south part of Des Moines and down towards Norwalk and the Carlisle area. So Carlisle and Norwalk added to this tornado warning, and it's considered a particularly dangerous situation because it is a heavily populated area. And again, this tornado was observed. And so this is not a moment where you want to be out looking for the tornado. It's a moment when you want to be inside in a safe spot away from all windows and doors. Again, this is moving toward the southeast at about 45 miles per hour. You can kind of see the notch here on the radar to your left, and that's kind of indicating where we had a little bit, most of that rotation is kind of south of that, but in that general area is where we saw the tornado pop up there around Merle Hay. So here is that local storm report, actually coming from law enforcement, likely in Johnston or Urbandale, but indicating that they saw a tornado on the ground at 5:38. So that was just about 10 minutes ago. And it has since, the area of rotation has since moved down toward the south. I'm going to check in here with some of the messaging here that we have from the National Weather Service. And it looks like about 20 minutes ago, the fire department in Dallas Center was indicating that they had quite a bit of power outages from Adel to Dallas Centers. We had some areas of some stronger wind gusts. And then we were I apologize there. We were certainly seeing some of that rotation pop up around the Johnston area, Johnston, Urbandale, just south of Grimes, within the past 10 or so minutes. So I'm going to put this into motion here and kind of show you what we are seeing currently. And you'll notice that where we had the area of rotation, it's kind of broken up a little bit. I'll kind of zoom in here and show you what exactly I'm seeing with that little area that at least produced the brief tornado. So no confirmation that it's still on the ground, at least from what I have seen. But we certainly had a tornado as it was confirmed earlier. However, this is kind of the area that rotation has moved to, and not looking the most impressive. So that is good news. We're hoping that has lifted and will continue to weaken as it pushes southeast, but we are still on high alert as this storm has already produced a tornado, which means it's certainly strong enough and has the ingredients to drop another tornado. If you have any confirmation of this, you can hit us up on our social media pages. My Twitter page is at Amber AWX or at Iowa Everywhere. We are live here for tornado warnings that have popped up around the metro. We also are seeing some flash flooding in the Des Moines metro. One second here. It looks like that the flash flooding right now is minimal, which is good. However, they are keeping a very close eye on that, just in case we do see the storms, what we call training, which is kind of sitting over the same areas, and that could lead to some flash flooding. But at this moment, we are not seeing much of that. We are just kind of watching for the potential of another tornado. Looks like the tornado warning has been canceled for Polk County. So we are going to watch that here just in a second. I'm not quite sure if it's that initial tornado warning. That's kind of what I'm assuming here is what has been canceled, is that small sliver that had first been warned, and they'll likely still keep this larger one that includes the far southeast corner of Polk County and the northwest portion or the northeast portion of Warren County. So Hartford, Runnels, Carlisle. Again, this storm has already produced a tornado, and the line of storms is headed your way. So you should be on high alert as well. Because you are in the tornado warning, we want you to be in a safe spot right now, away from all windows and doors. There's certainly a lot of rain that is coming down with this. Some areas up to the north have experienced some flash flooding because storms are moving so slowly, and we saw a lot of the storms kind of continue to develop in those areas. But right now we just have but we have a severe thunderstorm warning for for all of the Des Moines metro area. I'd say most of the Des Moines metro area. And that actually extends all the way into far eastern Jasper County. So it kind of cuts off at the line of Poweshiek County and Jasper County, just west of Grinnell. That is where we have the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail. And that is along this line here that you see with all this red and orange here. That is a lot of heavy rain and the potential for 60-mile-per-hour straight line winds. However, the tornado threat is just limited to southeast Polk County and northeast Warren County at this moment. So we're going to continue on this at this moment. If I put a little pause here, most of the rotation has dissipated a bit. We're still kind of watching it just in case it does decide to produce another tornado, which is why we're kind of keeping a high alert at this moment as it continues to push toward the southeast. But at this moment, no real indication that we have a tornado on the ground. However, this storm did drop a tornado just about 20 minutes ago when it developed over the northwest part of the metro. I have not seen any pictures or videos of that. So if you do have anything, feel free to show that to me, and we will continue to bring you the coverage here. And I'm just realizing that I never showed you the radar. I apologize, guys. Here is what we're kind of watching here on the radar. So, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you exactly what I saw. I had shared my screen and then didn't add it to the stage here on the live stream. So here's kind of what we've been looking at. We had the first tornado report around 5:38 p.m. That was reported by law enforcement, presumably by either Johnston or Urbandale. That was reported around Merle Hay Mall. And then we had another tornado report. Let's see. This would have been the Merle Hay Mall. This would have been the Highway 141 kind of interchange here on the northwest side of the metro. So that was that first tornado report around 5:38. The second report came from a National Weather Service employee at just before 5:45, and that is right around the Merle Hay Mall area. And when we had the tornado warning kind of kick out, and now the storm itself has moved down toward the southeast, and the warning area is for southeast Polk County and northeast Jasper County. So here is that tornado warning. So if you're within this little polygon, that is where we have our tornado warning. Carlisle, Hartford, Runnels, all within that polygon. We want you to be in a safe spot away from all windows and doors. Most of the rain is moving past the north side of the metro, still getting some heavy rain on the southeast side of the metro over towards Bondurant, Elkhart, Maxwell, up towards Mingo as well. Sorry, I'm hearing a few indications that we may have sirens going off on the west side of the metro. So I was just kind of quieting down to see if I could hear that a little bit more. But initially heard them for that tornado warning that was issued. And now that warning is farther down toward the south. Earlier, we also had some reports of very strong winds from Adel to Dallas Center, and they had indicated that there were some power outages in those areas. And So if you are in Adel and Dallas Center, this is kind of what's going on in your area. Thankfully, most of the rain has moved past you, and it is now moving down toward the south. The heaviest rain is on the east side of the Des Moines metro area and extending up through parts of northeast Iowa. So a couple of different tornado warnings right now, but the other two are out by the Cedar Rapids areas. They've had some strong wind gusts and even some wind damage just within the past 15 minutes right along Interstate 380. So that is kind of the east side of this line of thunderstorms, and it just kind of cuts off on the west side of the metro. We did have a few thunderstorms develop out by the Carroll area earlier this afternoon, also around Crawford and Ida County. That produced a little bit of thunderstorm wind damage, but now that line has completely formed into almost one, and the strongest winds are currently along Interstate 80 and south of I-80 for portions of Polk and Jasper County, and north of Interstate 80 for Tama, Marshall County, out towards the Cedar Rapids area. So I wanted to take another look at this tornado warning. This tornado warning was put into effect about 20 minutes ago and is for another 15 minutes. The severe thunderstorm warning has since expired, and I want to take a look at whether we're going to see that potentially extended, but not seeing any indication of that currently. I do still kind of feel like I hear the sirens going off, but that's likely farther east of the west side of the metro. And right now, we're not really seeing much of anything on the west side of the metro. And actually, from where I can see from my window, which kind of aims toward the Dallas Center area, northwest part or part of Waukee, the sky is actually clearing a little bit. So this is expected to be the only amount of thunderstorm activity that we see for the evening. Once this moves past, we are likely to see things quieting down. New warning coming from the National Weather Service. So that is being drawn up right now, and we should see that pop up here on the radar. And that is going to be for Jasper, Mahaska, Marion, Marshall, Polk, Poweshiek, Tama, and Warren County. So a rather large severe thunderstorm warning for this area of storms that are right over what I would say is northern Jasper, eastern Polk County currently. So we'll see that pop up here in just a second. Strong winds are expected, very, very heavy rain. And now this thunderstorm has also has also produced a tornado. And so that is certainly something we're going to be keeping a close eye on as this line of thunderstorms continues to move toward the south. With this thunderstorm warning that is coming out, the specifics of that looks like that is until 7 p.m. and that is going to include a threat for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. So some very strong wind gusts, and these would be straight line winds as opposed to the winds that you get in a tornado, which are rotating. And so that is kind of the difference here. I'm going to plug in my cord to my computer, keep us with some power. But again, here we go. There is that severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued by the National Weather Service that will go until 7 p.m. Right now, again, this has a potential of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which of course has a damage threat of considerable. That again coming from the National Weather Service in Des Moines. Luckily, across the Des Moines metro area, the west side has now been pretty much cleared of any thunderstorm activity. However, on the east side, we're still dealing with some very heavy rain from Bondurant to Ankeny, Saylorville, the Altoona area, as well as along Interstate 80 east of Altoona, which includes the Mitchellville and Colfax areas. Newton also getting some very, very heavy rain. We are thankful that is happening today as opposed to yesterday or Saturday when they had the IndyCar events out there over the weekend at the Iowa Speedway. Hopefully we will have minimal damage from that as it continues to move through parts of Newton and Kellogg. So pretty decently strong winds that we are seeing kind of in this storm across northern Jasper County. So if you're in that area, you certainly should be away from any windows as we could potentially see flying debris. Of course, let us know if you have any damage at Amber AWX is my weather Twitter, and at Iowa Everywhere is the Twitter for Iowa Everywhere. And of course, you can hit us up on our Facebook pages as well at Iowa Everywhere or Meteorologist Amber Alexander. We thank you guys for tuning in to Iowa Everywhere and looking at some coverage. Again, I apologize for not having the radar up for probably what was 20 minutes or so. So again, sorry about that. We continue to just kind of watch this here, and I am going to take a look at whether we've seen any sort of communication on socials as far as reports. So I'm going to take a minute here. This is a live look at the radar as we continue to see severe thunderstorms moving across parts of central and eastern Iowa. Okay. All right, let's kind of wrap this up here, and we'll give you a last look at what is happening and what has happened. So we started coverage at about 5:20 or 5:15. Now I can't even remember what time it started, 5:45 or so, as we had a report of a tornado around Merle Hay Mall. That is the first report that we had from law enforcement come in around 5:38 of a tornado. Then we had another report of a tornado from a National Weather Service employee pop up around 5:43. And now the only area that is in the tornado warning is in Warren County. That's the northeast part of Warren County. And right now we have some very, very weak winds kind of moving through that area, but certainly still a chance that we see an isolated tornado forming. So that will be watched very closely, but no report of a tornado currently on the ground. With the severe thunderstorm warning that we have, that is for a much larger area. That includes the east part of Polk County, the far northeastern sliver of Warren County, a good portion of Mahaska County, Marion County on the north. A large portion of Marion County and a small sliver of Mahaska County in the northwest part. Pretty much all of Jasper County, all of a good portion of Poweshiek County included in that, and then the far southern part of Marshall County. But most of the storm activity is pushed south. And so the area that we're most concerned about right now is going to be Jasper County from Newton to Kellogg. that is where we have our strongest winds now, and down toward the Prairie City area. So if you have any photos of damage, of course, take that once you are in safety. Everything has moved past, but if you have any damage reports, you can comment below or send us a message or an email if you do have any sort of damage. Again, I'm Meteorologist Amber Alexander. Thank you guys for tuning in to coverage today. If we happen to see anything else pop up that is worth noting, we will go live again here across all of our platforms. I believe we're live right now on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook currently. We thank you again for joining us today. If you happen to see a severe thunderstorm warning pop up in your area, we want you to be safe. And so make sure you are going inside and away from all windows and doors so that you are staying safe. Thank you guys again for joining us. This forecast and this severe weather coverage is brought to you by Terraplex Ag. Have a great night, everyone, and feel free to reach out with any questions or comments that you have.